What's up, guys? My name is Ray Volpe, and today you're going to be looking at a short little segment from a bigger breakdown for my song What You Need. We're going to be going over the Prisimizer effect, some call it just vocal pads. A lot of the stuff that like Cashmere, Cat, Francis and the Lights, Lido have done in the past. If you find this video helpful or entertaining, then you can feel free to drop down to my Patreon, which is in the description, and you can get the full over 40-minute breakdown, as well as tons of other track breakdowns, sample packs, all that type of cool stuff. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Drop a like, and let's get into it. So for this next section, I really wanted to figure out when I could do this. It's a style that I've been obsessed with for a very long time. Very much inspired by Cashmere, Cat, Imogen Heap, even like Francis and the Lights. Having the vocoded vocals and having them be just linked to a chord and just play out super stretched and have it follow a melody is something I've been very interested in doing. And I just didn't know how to make it work with my own voice and my own vocals. So I think I just wasn't that confident in myself to be able to pull it off. So I was waiting to find a sample that I could get away with it with. And that was thankfully this song. So what I had done here was I took the vocal and I had stretched it out. So if I play it without, nectar. So it was just stretched out. I then turned on Isotope Nectar 3, which I used to do this with Isotope Nectar 2 whenever I would mess around with this idea, but my first time using it has been in 3. And you turn on the harmony section, right? And you set it to voices only. Doing that means basically it's going to ignore the first actual voice of it, and it's only going to rely on the extra voices that you add inside of this control section here. And you turn on MIDI. Doing so now will basically route any voices to a MIDI channel. So I have a MIDI channel here that's just empty. Nothing is on here, as you see. There's no VST. You just go down to where you can just, route all your stuff. You click and you find your track that has Nectar. So I, selected Imogen vocals because that's, one of the inspirations behind it, and just routed it directly to Nectar. And so now I can add as many voices as I want, and see, they'll get added. And I can basically start to now just play any notes I want, and it'll just play those notes. So if I were to go in here and I get rid of all of these, right? We'll play it. And if you look here, because of this as well, there's only one voice. It's all the way to the left. It's going to play that one. That's why it's left leaning here. The more I add, the more voices on your control section there, your control center inside of Nectar, it'll start duplicating and it'll spread out. And then I can go in and add a third voice here. And then I can even go in and add the fourth and fifth here. So now we have a total of 5 voices. And from here, what I really wanted to do was start to fuck with the chord. I wanted to start adding in imperfections and start adding in these interesting little transitions between notes. That way the vocal would start to transpose with it as well, start gliding, start sounding strange, maybe a little fucked up. And that's why you see all these extra little notes in sections here. Look at that, and this one that's so tiny here, even down here. So if I play it together, you can listen very closely, you'll hear it. I'm gonna play it without the vocal chop from here. So you can hear why I maybe didn't want to keep the vocal as is. At that point, it just didn't have anything to latch onto for those other chords. So from there, I start using my head. I'm like, let me chop up this vocal, start repeating sections. So we get this. And if you listen very closely, you can hear this little descending section here on the left channel. Listen in your left headphone if you have headphones in, or if you have your speakers set up put your head to the left one, you can hear it very faintly. You can hear that dip. It goes very, very faint in the back there, and it sounds so cool. I was absolutely just blown away at myself for making this. I did not know I could do this, and I was very, 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 very excited about this. I think it's one of the coolest things ever, and it's that easy. It's not that easy actually. It can be hard because just using chords, it's so difficult. You have to have the right vocal for it. It needs to be the right pitch. Go too low, sounds awful. Go too high, sounds a little weird. So you have to like find the right key. You have to find the right sample to use. It has to have the right breaths, the right takes. I think it honestly depends on the vocal more than it depends on anything else. And that's where it's going to really come down to. Also, I should point out, pitch correction and time variation are up 100%. Pitch correction's up all the way. That way it is all in the same key as each other. Time variation is up all the way. That way every single one of these voices, in this case we have 4 here, they are all being played slightly off of one another. If I bring this all the way down, I don't know if you can hear the difference there. You can hear them start to kind of swoop in, like if my fingers are going like this, right? That's each voice going zoom. But if I have it all the way down, it's just going to go ding all together. But you can hear the other voices kind of follow each other. It just adds that variation there. You could do it with pitch as well, so they're slightly off from one another. But then it starts to sound a little strange. But I thought I would point those out as well because that's super important. You can also control the filter and the EQ kind of built in here as well if you want. But I didn't need to do that. So I thought I would keep it by itself. I just have the little reverse reverb swell here just by, bouncing that to audio and then just reversing it and adding reverb. And so it's just a vocal on its own, just a cappella basically. Okay, so that's basically the effect in a nutshell, explained awfully by me. It's been a while since I posted on here, so I wanted to remind you guys that, hey, I'm alive, I'm still here, and just give you guys a little bit of educational content for free, because I don't want to just be like, hey, join my Patreon, like, here's some stuff too, all right? So don't worry about it, I got you. Sorry about the camera change, by the way. I just didn't want to grab my camera and film again, because that just sounded like a lot of work, and I'm tired, so. Anyway, all right. Bye. The song itself is called What You Need. I dropped it last month on Disciple on their Afterlife Volume 2 compilation, so you could also head into the description and listen to that if you want, if you enjoyed that type of track. It's a cute little melodic, feelsy anthem. So, yeah. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.